You're listening to the Mobcast Network.
Welcome to My Star Wars Life, a look at news, reviews, and other happenings from a galaxy far, far away. Here are your hosts, Scotty and JD.
Hello there. Welcome to My Star Wars Life Obi Wan Days. I'm your host, your Native American pop culture spirit guide, Scotty. I'm joined by our Jedi Master,
JD.
Are you all right, JD?
Yeah, that just was funny. I don't know why that was funny.
I don't know why it was funny
just
either.
Really funny.
It's not like we've done it 3 times.
No, but the Obi-Wan days.
Obi-Wan Days.
Sounded high as hell.
I have been traveling, so I'm very tired.
He
so.
went ahead and got some of that spice from Obi-Wan starter.
They got them death sticks.
Talking to Obi-Wan's daughter.
We're also joined by our Jedi Master, Jedi Knight. Sorry, I didn't promote him. Especially today.
Yeah, no. He's and our Padawan Gellman. He was a knight for a week.
Actually, no. He kind of probably got because he's now just a disembodied voice, so he's like a Force ghost right now today.
Dang, Jedi for a week, dead. Obviously, too soon to promote.
They just sent me to the agriculture corps like Obi-Wan almost did.
So next time we have a Padawan, we make sure that his trial is more than just a couple games of Connect 4.
I like it. Also, we have a guest. The Lady of Libations herself from the Cult Movie Cantina.
That's right.
Stephanie,
Hi.
who doesn't have a Star Wars name.
I
But
kind of. Can I be a Sith Lord?
oh, I don't know. We're all kind of good guys over here. This would be real bad.
Well, okay. I need something.
No, you can be a Sith Lord if you want to be.
Okay. Or something.
Or something.
Or something.
Something cool.
A Night Sister.
Yeah, that'll work.
Night Sisters are badass. And not full Sith. So
Controy.
I don't know if Gondroids are cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, because Night Sisters can still be good because Marin from
There you go.
Fallen Order.
I don't know if she needs to be good, but I'd like her like on like the fringe.
Yeah.
Like a Saz Ventress, who went evil but kind of was like, we're going to stay in the gray area. Because
Why can't I just, have a cool Star Wars name and own a cantina?
Oh, yeah, that would be you. Totally.
Yeah.
There you go.
You're the Jennifer Beals of Star Wars universe. She's just like,
But yellow eyes,
Yeah,
so you
there
you
don't
go.
mess around in her
with
cantina.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're not paying your tab? Lightning. Just
That would be fantastic. Yes.
See,
Now
I
you
was
go.
gonna.
I'm the Dark Lady of Libations.
I was gonna go more B. Arthur from Holiday Special.
Oh, yeah, right.
Oh, God.
okay. And on that note, I'm going to close my eyes while she beats his ass.
No, she's
Yeah, I was
way
going to say. Did he just call me B. Arthur?
Right after your birthday. He's
Whoa,
like,
whoa,
oh, by
whoa.
the way.
That's what I'm
Wait,
saying.
are we? Whoa.
Wait. I think JD's putting this up.
Yeah, hold on.
This is on JD, not on Caleb.
Yeah, because are you saying there's something wrong with B. Arthur?
I'm saying that she was definitely not my favorite Golden Girl.
That's okay. She's still a Golden Girl. She awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just saying, I read the room, and I know which way Stephanie was going.
I know. I was like,
Well, in a past Cult Movie Cantina, we decided that Stephanie was Blanche. So,
that would be Blanche.
yeah.
Fair.
I ended up being B. Arthur because I didn't want to be Sophia, and I made Caleb be Sophia.
Yeah.
So Justina, yeah.
Just
that's fair.
Justina's Rose, right?
Yep, yeah.
There you
100%.
What? What's a movie?
Luckily, she doesn't listen to this. All right.
Because it's too close to a movie.
We love you, Justina, our Jellicle Jester. But we are not here to talk about the Cult Movie Cantina. That's
We are
another
not.
show. You'll see that Wednesday.
If you know what's good for you.
That's true. It's a cult meeting.
That's right.
So we're going to be talking about culty stuff. But today we're going to talk about Obi Wan Kenobi Part 3. Directed by Deborah Chow, because she's directed all of these. Written by Joby Harold, Hannah Friedman, and Hossein Amini. Hossein Amini? There we go. Hossein Amini. That's where I'm going to land on that one. It stars Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, Vivian Lyra Blair as Leia Organa, who's adorable.
She is.
She, like, that second episode when she's, like, running around and stuff,
Yeah.
almost made me want to have kids. Like
That
almost.
won't last long.
No, it didn't. But I was like, I could have like for a moment, I could have had one, and then like, no, I'm good. She seemed to look too rambunctious. If Obi-Wan couldn't catch her, I definitely can't.
That is true.
I'd be like, well, bitch, you on your own. I just hope you get raised right. I don't know what's going to happen. Please show up and be like, yeah, I'm sorry, she got just kidnapped by smugglers. She's
Okay.
Moses Ingram as Reva, or also the third sister. Sung Kang as fifth brother. Raya Kilnstead as fourth sister. Zach Braff as Freck.
So we're getting some guy love soon, right?
Almost.
Yeah.
Andrew Varma as Tala. And then a combo of Hayden Christensen and an AI version of James Earl Jones
Yep.
as Darth Vader. Everybody was really excited. Like, James Earl Jones is back. I'm like, is he?
Is he?
And I was like, me and Caleb were talking about this right after the episode at last. And when we were talking about Vader's voice, I was like, my money's on, it's the same technology they made Luke sound and Mando. They just roboted
It's
his
actually
voice.
it's actually because it's in the credits. It's the same technology they used for Rogue One.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it sounds a lot better than it does in Rogue One, though.
Oh yeah.
We've had 10 years of.
Yeah, but it
getting
sounds,
better.
but yeah, because like he sounded off in Rogue One, but he sounds a lot better in this one.
You made a dad joke in Rogue One, so.
I mean it's fitting,
He did make a red. That's
but it's fitting.
but and we'll talk about this.
Yeah.
But we've clearly established as canon on this show that Vader's a drama queen,
Yep.
and so a dad joke would totally be like, he's just,
Right.
I'm choking you. Are you choking on your aspiration? Yeah, whatever. Drama queen. All right. Speaking of the show, and Kayla, you may have to help me finish this out because I'll be honest, I usually write these synopsises out, and then I wrote most of this, got sidetracked, and then traveled this weekend to a place that had no Wi-Fi, so I couldn't finish it. So I'm going to try to do the rest from memory, but we'll see how that goes.
Yep.
On Mustafar, Darth Vader rises from his bacta tank and is put together like if Henry Ford controlled the Borg Collective. The third sister contacts him via HoloNet. It's all like... It's very, very industrial.
It's like a production line,
Right,
assembly
it's
line.
Right, but that's why I did this. Like, where's the other 78 of them then? Because
He's got backups, right? He has to, right?
so he's a Doombot.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him. The third sister contacts him via HoloNet and slides into those DMs telling him, hey, your boy Obi-Wan is alive. Vader replies with, you can continue to prove your usefulness, or you can be the top dog. Otherwise, it's curtains for you. Coitons. Obi-Wan is still reaching out to Qui-Gon while he and Leia are zooming slowly along the ship they escaped on. Still no answer on Qui-Gon's voicemail. Seems to be not set up, so Obi-Wan can't leave a message. Leia is impatient and tries to get Ben to use the Force to speed things up, but as we've learned in Episode 7, the Force doesn't work that way, which has been kind of a trope since that episode, that movie, and I'm happy. I'm all here for it. But luckily, they're ready to land, so it worked out for them. And they escape to the mining planet of Mapuzo, what sounds like he wrote The Godfather. Mario Puzo.
Right. I got you.
Right, I'm pretty sure that's what that's named after, right?
Mapuzo?
Yeah, Mario Puzo.
Either that or he had a really difficult morning after his coffee.
Oh, my Puzo.
Oh,
My poo zone. My poo zone hurts.
I don't know if I can continue reading. I'm just, my poo zone hurts. I don't know. I'm wiggling now. As Leia and Ben walk, Ben has this whole vision of Anakin in the plains that feels very Last Temptation of Christ or The Passion. It's very Jesus-y.
Yeah.
It was just like, right?
Yeah, he looks kind of like the Satan in Passion of the Christ. Yeah.
It's very, very like, I got a very like Mel Gibson vibes out of it. I was just like,
Mel Gibson without the crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you seen The Passion? It's crazy.
That's what I mean. It's like this would be like that without the crazy.
Yeah. So here's the plan. Ben and Leia are father and daughter, plus they're farmers from Tall. Leia doesn't speak, so Ben will do all the talking. Good. That's the plan. But the problem is the person they were looking for isn't here, and Leia isn't, well, good with plans. that she didn't come up with. So she flags a transport down and meets the alien version of JD. No, not our JD, but JD from Scrubs. So now we got to get JD and Turk back together. So for some guy love, that was for Caleb.
Yeah.
Leia does all the talking. She meets JD, who is an alien named Feck, who offers them a ride to the spaceport. But Ben tries to talk his way out of it, but Leia is tired of walking, and because she's 10, and so onto the transport they go. All good, right? Back to the Fortress Inquisitorius. That's just too fancy of a word. The place where the Inquisitors hang out. They're complaining about who's going to find Ben and now who gets Xbox privileges now that the Grand Inquisitor isn't around.
Yeah, we still don't get any justice for Han.
Third sister says she's found Kenobi and she's been talking to Vader, who has put her in charge, and she demands to send out probes. After some grumbling, probes are sent. Meanwhile, back on Fleck's transport, Fleck apparently is very pro-Empire. So pro-Empire, he picks up some stormtroopers who need a ride. They're looking for some Jedi, and they question Ben and Leia, who come up with the most convincing story. After some questioning, it looks like the stormtroopers are leaving at their next stop to look for the Jedi. Whew, close is clear. Now time to have a heart-to-heart with Leia. Leia figures out that Ben knew her real mom and actually questions if she's his real dad, which he sadly says no, but he would have been honored to be her father. Ben says he's understand what it's like not to know your parents because he was taken away from when he was young. And he doesn't remember what they look like, but just brief glimpses, and he thought he had a younger brother, which I was about to ask Caleb.
So obviously in canon we have not seen any evidence as far as legends.
Legends is the question. I remember Obi-Wan having a brother. But I don't remember where I saw that outside of the Decipher game.
So that is because in Legends he did have a dream about a brother. Turned out it was a vision of Owen.
Okay, so weird fun fact that was pointed out to by my friends from I'm on Twitter a lot, and so I follow a bunch of guys who do the old Star Wars CCG Twitter, and they posted Owen's card, which specifically says in the lore, brother of Obi Wan Kenobi. And I was like, I had forgotten about that too, and then I saw that, and I was like, that reminds me of something else, and I was like, oh, Caleb would know.
Right. Yeah.
So
that's what it was.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
See, now we know something. Frex stops at an Imperial checkpoint, and things go sour. Frex sells out the two, and a lot of stormtroopers have to die before Ben and Leia can escape. And they make it beyond the checkpoint gate, which is the easiest. That's been a whole meme.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a minute. Where they're stopped by another Imperial transport, but the commander kills her troops and says she's on their side and here to help. Oh, and this was the person they were supposed to meet in the first place. The commander takes them to the village and hides them in the path, kind of an underground railroad for Force-sensitive and other high-profile people wanted by the Empire. The commander introduces herself as Tala and explains she has a transport arranged for Ben and Leia. They start to leave, but Ben feels a disturbance in the Force, and it goes to the window to see what it is. It's Vader. He's got some stormtroopers, and the Inquisitors are at the village. Vader goes stalking about and just killing random villagers with the Force and otherwise fucking shit up. Because that's all the way I could explain that. He just walks in and just fucks shit up. Again, drama queen. Ben tells Leia to go with Tala to the transport and makes Tala promise him that she will get Leia to Alderaan, and Ben goes to lure Vader away. And that's where I stopped on my... So...
You were almost at the end.
Almost at the end. So, basically, Ben goes out. Vader senses him, glimpses him, and Ben runs away from the village to, like, this mining area.
Yep. And
then Vader shows up, and they have a conversation. And my favorite thing in there is Obi-Wan asks him, or Ben asks him, because I got to get the naming right. It's going to be so hard. Ben asks him, what has happened to you? And... what have you become? And Vader's like, what you made me.
Right.
Yep.
And I'm just like, mic drop. Yeah. That's the most baller line so far in the whole series.
What you made me.
Yep.
And so there's a series of combat. We basically get the pre-round of what I guess is going to be the end of the end of the season.
As I was saying, this is I was texting him. I was like, this is the preview to the big WWE match.
Absolutely, this is the preview. This is the setup. Obi-Wan is a terrible fighter because he's rusty. He hasn't fought in 10 years.
Yeah. Right.
And has
he's been actively not being a Jedi.
and it's
right.
so
He
it's
hasn't used the Force
right.
or anything.
It's so refreshing to see him not like on top of his game.
Right. Whereas Anakin has 10 years of hate and spite.
Right,
And
building.
also, 10 years of Jedi hunting.
Right, and so he's just whooping his ass. It gets to a point where they get to, I don't know, what is it? What would you call it? It's
like a
rock
quarry.
It's
They're
they're
at
in
a
a quarry,
quarry.
but it's
They're at a
rocks or
quarry.
something that they spill that's flammable. I don't know
Yeah,
exactly. I
but-
couldn't figure out what it was
but
flammable.
they're-
Super flammable.
but
too.
like,
yeah.
like,
yeah.
and Vader uses the Force to pull Obi-Wan through the fire.
He literally rakes him over the coals.
Absolutely, and I'm like,
Yes.
holy shit! And Vader's like, I'm just going to give you all the suffering that I got.
Right.
And I'm like, that is kind of baller.
Yeah.
That's kind of baller. Meanwhile, Leia and Tal are in this tunnel trying to get to the spaceport, and Leia, being 10 and clearly in charge, was like, hey, you got to go get Obi-Wan. I can run to the... I'm 10. I got this.
It's a one-way path.
Right, I got that. I just go this way. We're good, right? So Tala goes back to go rescue Obi-Wan. The third sister, she doesn't ever do what she's told. She's basically the Leia of the Inquisitors.
For sure.
She just does like, I'm not. Tell me something. I'm going to do the opposite. And they told her to like sweep the village, and then she finds the path, and then what is not shown, but what I assume, she goes in the tunnel for a second. I think she goes around to the spaceport.
Yeah, because like
Everyone's like, "How? That's the most magical tunnel."
yeah, everybody's like, how did she get in front? Well,
It's like
she
she went
obviously
around.
went around.
She,
Yeah.
was- she knew where it was going. It's pretty obvious. That's the direction of the spaceport, right?
Like when
I'll just hop on a transport
when
and get
all
there.
these Jedi have been disappearing from this area,
Oh.
they must be getting off world somehow.
Wow, I wonder what. So she gets her way to the spaceport, which is important for the end of this. Tala helps Obi-Wan escape by shooting a stormtrooper and blowing up more of the flammable stuff. And Vader's not going to walk through the fire because I think he doesn't really like fire outside just living by it. He's like, I'm good living.
Yeah.
He's like me. Like, I would love a beach house, but I don't really like getting in the water that much.
Well, I also think it's for him. He's like, oh, I made him afraid. I'm good.
Also, again, drama queen. This is what the drama
Yeah.
queen would do. I'm just going to look cool in the fire. I'll get you because
Yeah.
you wounded anyway.
Yeah.
Just makes the chase
You're
fun.
wounded. You're wounded.
Right.
You're scared. I'm winning.
Yeah,
Let's
you're
go.
going to suffer worrying about me getting you.
Right, and so I'm getting in your head, Obi-Wan. I'm in your head. I'm
Yeah.
in your nightmares. Qui-Gon won't talk to you. I'll talk to you, baby. What you want to know? I'm gonna kill you. Tala goes to rescue Obi-Wan. She does. She finds him. She is going to tell him everything's going to be okay. Leia goes and meets with the pilot that was supposed to take them out, but he's dead, and she just runs into the third sister, who's like, "Oh, it's all cool. We got this." And then credits.
Yep.
Yeah.
Woo.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it was a
So
lot for an hour episode.
on some of the minor stuff, I want to talk about Quinlan Vos confirmed alive.
Confirmed to have been alive whenever he passed through.
Yeah,
Right.
but that's still
They have been talking. I've read rumors for a while that they've been trying to find a way to put Quinlan Vos in something.
yeah.
Because he's like a Lucas creation that never quite made it
Yeah,
anywhere.
because he was in Phantom Menace
Right.
as a background character that then George was like, oh, here's a cool backstory I could give him.
Right, and it's just not really so I think they're trying to finally get him in the bush.
So I saw, speaking of him, the other thing that we sort of touched on last time, but that has just been ramping up, and that's the fandom menace hating on Reva.
Right.
Yeah.
But then, like, I guess O'Shea Jackson Jr. has said, "Well, wait till I show up."
yeah,
And I'm like, yes.
O'Shea Jackson Jr. has been trolling so hard on Twitter. It's great.
And like the first main comment was, "If he's Quinlan," like, and it's like, oh yes.
I would be acceptably okay with that. That'd
yeah,
be
I
great.
Yeah.
would be absolutely fine.
I would be great.
He wouldn't be my first pick, but I wouldn't be mad.
No, I wouldn't be mad at all.
But I just like that's absolutely his dad thing to do. Oh, you're mad now? just
Yeah,
wait.
he changed his profile to 13th member of the Jedi Council, so he's like trolling so hard. On it.
Wow.
I wonder when we get him. There's 3 episodes left, so
Yeah, and I think there's good ways to make use of him because.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
Oh, who? That's
If
he's
I
gonna
were to-
save Leia in
yeah.
the beginning of next
If I were to
episode.
speculate, I could see him as a young Saul Guerrero. Like, and this would be before he becomes before he starts looking like.
No, because
We already saw him in Clone Wars, didn't we?
we're
But
yeah,
he's not looking like. He's not quite looking like Forrest Whitaker yet.
right. But we're not too far from Forrest Whitaker. Honest, but also in that defense, we're not that far from Alec Guinness either.
And
Right.
and in the case of Saul, we're also not that far from Bad Batch either. Like,
Right.
so
So yeah, that's 10
because
years.
it's after Bad Batch, but
Yeah, it's 10 years
before-
after Bad Batch. So.
But it's also about 10 years from Rogue. Well, not quite 10 years to Rogue One, but
yeah, it's close to that.
8.
9.
yeah, nine.
'cause Luke is 10, so he's 19 when Star Wars starts.
Yep.
I thought.
Yeah,
I always
they're
thought he was 18.
19.
no.
16
Him.
to 18.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
19.
19 when
19.
they're. Yep.
Which everyone thinks he's 18, but Lucas made him 19. So
That's
it's,
And then
I mean, why not?
yeah, people have also been.
so he's legal in
yeah.
Alabama for everything,
Yeah.
except drinking.
Pretty much.
Yeah. People have also been studying the other names that have been on the wall.
I got excited
Oh,
for
I'm
one of
sure.
them.
They showed Caleb Doom.
Caleb Doom was one of them, and I was
Nice.
like, "Yeah, all right." Kanan got his way through here.
That's nice.
Yay! Before he went to be a smuggler.
Yeah, I would say this was probably just before, probably on his way to becoming Kanan.
Yeah, I think
And
it's
then,
right before. It's probably right
like-
before the
like-
this comic.
I would say it's after the comic, but before A New Dawn.
Well, yeah, but
Because he's
Well, he
he's
become- he
probably
ca-
what, 20 now? Because how old is he at the beginning of Bad Batch?
oh, Rebels.
No,
No.
well, Bad Batch, because
At
he's
the
in Bad
beginning of
Batch.
Oh, 13 maybe 12,
Yeah,
13.
he's
Padawan.
he's a youngling.
Yeah.
Well, he's a Padawan. 'cause
He's
he-
Padawan. But see, you also got to remember he's like a Padawan like Ahsoka is. Like they're running out of Padawans because they're getting killed
So he'd
in
be
the Clone
like,
Wars. So
he
they're like,
might be 12, 13.
Yeah, I
that's what
think
I'm
he was
saying. So
23.
right now he's
I forgot he was
23,
in Bad
22.
Batch.
Yeah.
so yeah, he's in
Yeah,
his early 20s.
Bad Batch,
Yeah.
where they kept Freddy as the voice, trying to sound like a kid.
But he sounds like
Sounds like a kid going through puberty.
right. He sounds like the kid from the Brady Bunch. So
Oh yeah.
But
Bobby.
Bobby.
which you know what? I could see that being
it's Peter. It's Peter goes
Yeah.
to
I don't
puberty. I can't remember. But Bobby, I think Bobby's the youngest one.
Yeah.
Greg is the oldest, so it's had to be Peter. He's a middle kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is your Brady Bunch podcast.
I was about to say, I don't know if I'm impressed or horrified.
also,
you know that
I'm
much
kind of
about-
on the.
Yeah.
I am the Native American pop culture spirit guide, so I
yeah.
should know some things.
Few other fun facts. We now have another Game of Thrones alumni in Star Wars with Tala Durth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who I know her mostly from HBO's Rome.
Oh yeah, she's so good in
Yeah.
Rome.
So
I just want, I know the timeline's not, but she just needs to walk up to the Mando and kiss him because that was their roles in Game of Thrones.
right.
Right.
Trying to figure out any other little fun
Also,
facts.
if no one's seen HBO Rome, everyone should go
Rome
watch
is
Rome.
so
I
good.
love
Rome is
Rome.
like my.
I've never seen it.
It's 2 seasons. It's created by the guy who made Conan the movie, and it's just about.
It mostly follows these two legates, but it also follows Caesar.
It's the rise and fall of Julius Caesar seen through the eyes of 2 Roman soldiers,
No.
and it's freaking awesome.
It is, yeah.
I introduced you to y'all, did I?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
And it's like I was so upset when I was finished with it.
Yeah,
it
it's
was just
yeah.
that
over.
good.
Yeah, because it's
'Cause
over,
just the
but
ga-
there's still so much. Like they wanted to do another season, but
Yeah,
they,
they wanted 5, and the 5th season was going to be Christ
Oh wow.
doing Jesus and doing with Pontius Pilate and all that
Yeah.
other stuff, and I'm like, oh, I'm all in for that. I just
Yeah.
want to see that because
Right.
they were building that kind of stuff up in season 2.
Yeah.
and so I was like, I'm all into it, but they got canceled because it was a very expensive show to
Yeah.
produce.
also
way Deadwood
you
got canceled.
overlooked Ned B, the best droid in the show so far.
I did, yeah. I was going to talk about Ned B's. I like the loader droid's design.
Yeah, so the whole loader droids can't talk is something from Legends.
Yeah.
Because in the Knights of the Republic comic, one of my favorite comics, there's a loader droid who can't talk because they just don't build loader droids to be able to talk. They just aren't. Why would you need to talk if you're a loading droid?
Pick
but,
this thing up, move it there.
But you can program them to talk after the fact, like they do that for the character in the KOTOR comic. But Ned B doesn't need that. He's ready to talk with his hammer.
I
There
do,
you go.
I do love Leia walking up to him and like
Trying to talk,
talking to him, and then introducing to Lola. I love Leia. I like I saw a meme. It's one of those like the Friends meme where Joey's not trying to say something and he just repeats it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But it's like say Obi-Wan with her, and then it's just the Baby Leia show, and I'm
Yeah.
like I'm
I
all
think
in.
I sent that to you.
And maybe you
actually.
sent that. So I'll post it. But it's
I should have shared. I think I sent it to you through TikTok. But there's where the Leia actress and and Pedro Pascal are talking. Leia's actress is like, we should team up sometime.
I'd watch it. World Between Worlds. We'll make it happen. So what do you think of it? You've been very quiet, which is unusual for you.
I'm just like listening to you guys. So, the series itself so far, to me, is just amazing. It's like a breath of fresh air. I was very frustrated with Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, welcome to this podcast.
Right? I mean, but I'm just saying.
Welcome to this side of the podcast.
Yeah.
I'll put it because me and Drew hated it. So
yeah, I did not care
barrier.
for it. I didn't care for it, and the reason why is because I felt that they could have done so much more with his character, and at the end, it turned out to be just another Mandalorian show. I mean, that's what it felt like. So.
Well, Favreau's been on record on that since Celebration. He was pretty much like his chapter 3 of Mandalorian.
Basically.
Yeah.
So when we watched this, I was just so excited. It felt like a seamless, almost, move into that area that you miss,
right.
between the prequels and what I call our Star Wars,
right?
The
Holy Trilogy.
And what really sold it for me is watching my husband watch it, and he's not a Star Wars guy. He's not a Star Wars guy. Mm-hmm. And for him, and he's getting excited. I mean, when I say excited, he's sitting on the couch and he's going, "This is fucking awesome." I mean, and this is coming from my husband, and I'm like, "All right." It's pretty good.
It is.
But yeah, when it so this last episode really got me because here's Ben, who, like you said, he's trying really hard just not. He's scared. He's terrified of being caught and being killed, or all the Jedis are being hunted. He's scared. He has lost everything.
Plus, he's got this mission, so he can't die. He's got this this mission that's not this girl, and he's kind of been forced into it.
Right. He's got this mission, but he's also, he's scared. And for him to struggle with using the Force is, like you said, it's just, I like watching that.
Right.
It really builds his character, and and I'm trying to think ahead at and during the Holy Trilogy where he goes and battles, fights Darth Vader, and seeing what's going to build up, how that builds. But let me tell you, little Leia, I need her in my life. She's adorable.
She is.
I hope she never grows up.
Oh, she will.
I
sadly.
mean, but she, in the case of Leia, though, she grows up to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
I think she captures her really, really well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She really does.
It's why I don't get these people that are like actively attacking her the same way people did Jake Lloyd.
It's just that, but all the characters
suck,
are
dude.
so
I'm
good.
Yeah.
so mad.
They do.
What
They
is
do.
going? See, okay, I've heard a little something about attacking.
Moses Ingram.
Yes. What the?
So
People suck.
people are being
People
racist,
suck.
of course,
I
because like
don't
she
get-
shared her DM, like Moses Ingram shared her like a lot of DMs, and it's bad. It
That is so stupid.
And so
Number one, it's fantasy. Who
Yeah.
cares? I mean, you got aliens everywhere.
Well,
who cares what color?
Remember, a lot of people got mad at Rey for being the main character because she was a girl. Now we have a not white girl.
That's so
It's
stupid.
people are horrible.
It's also
don't
they jumped on her early because somebody leaked a storyline and said like it's not Obi-Wan's show, it's her show.
So yeah,
and which is not true.
And so I'm kind of disappointed with the website that did the leak because I did finally look at. I only looked at the episodes that have come out so far.
Right. How wrong were they?
So the first episode is pretty close. But you can, but there's a few minor details that are wrong, and you can guess that they're wrong because, you can guess that the only reason they got stuff right was based off the trailers. They just looked at the trailers and went, "Oh, that makes sense for this and this and this." So they got part 1 right because of trailer guesswork, but part 2 and 3 is off the rails completely.
Oh, wow.
And I'm upset, and I'm upset because it's usually a really good website that usually knows what they're doing. And I'm willing to call them out if that's fine.
Absolutely.
Making Star Wars, usually really good at getting news ahead of time for film stuff. All the way since the Disney buyout, they've been really good. But this is the first time where they were off the mark. And unfortunately, a lot of the stuff they said is what's causing... Like, according to this show, we should have had Saw Gerrera already show up. We should have seen... Like, the way they wrote it is completely different. And... Like, the Underground Railroad stuff would have been in part 1, according to their version. And so...
At least they're getting weird facts right. That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's weird, but still, I don't understand
Yeah.
why people are getting wrapped
Well,
up
because-
in
because-
skin color for a sci-fi
I don't even
with
Yeah, nope,
aliens.
I don't
and
get-
who
I mean-
cares if she's what color
Because
she
people
is.
suck.
Yeah.
People suck.
Because people are assholes.
And
That
so,
is-
so
that's just stupid.
I am proud of Lucasfilm, and I guess they must have hired a new social.
Yeah, I think they have a new social media team because their social media team right now is on point.
Yeah.
I mean, they are on point.
because they
doing-
immediately called
Oh.
out the fans that were being toxic and said,
Right.
"Hey, if you're racist, we don't want you."
Right.
And then Ewan McGregor comes out and basically says the same thing.
Right.
He's like, "Hey, if you're being racist, you're not a Star Wars fan."
Right.
And so
Even Star Trek got in on it.
Yeah, Star Trek jumped in. It was like,
Oh, that's
hey,
awesome.
Yeah, they were like, whoa, what are you guys doing? No. She's awesome. What do you know?
Yeah.
Stop
And
this.
it was it's Pike, whatever.
Yeah, Anson Mount.
Yeah.
Anson.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
And
was
then-
him
but-
going, what is wrong with y'all?
Yeah, the Star Trek's media team too.
Yeah.
Like same thing. They've just been
Yeah,
they have
on
a,
it.
they have a
Even-
black female captain.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
George.
she went through the
What?
same.
Well,
yeah, she went
yeah.
through the same stuff.
Even
too.
even Gur
Stupid.
Martin recently was interviewed about all the like toxic fandoms in general.
Right.
Right.
And he was like, "Yeah, I don't get why Tolkien fans don't like the new Lord of the Rings show coming out. I don't, and it's not even out yet. I'm excited." And he's like, "I also don't get like why Star Trek fans like hate Star Trek, and Star Wars fans hate Star Wars. I don't get it. We
can't-
used to just love what we loved, and that was it." And
To me, it's like you can't even call them fans if they're, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
they're
I mean,
just-
you can
they're
have
just
complaints,
trolls.
but
I
when
mean,
you're
look,
getting
trolls.
like
right,
this,
right. I think, part of it is there. Not to get political, but there is a strong racist backbone in this country. So you've got that. B, the internet seems to work algorithmically on negative comments.
I
Yes.
know, it's
So negative
terrible.
comments
Absolutely.
tend to push up for. So, I don't know. Part of me wants to say yes, there are bigots with these shows, and who say these things. Also, there's probably guys who are like, it's good for business.
yeah.
We get 50,000 views if we say we hate her because this
Oh, no,
she's terrible. And
I mean, I would argue specific Star Wars content creators like Mike Zero use the negative algorithm.
absolutely, Mike Zero does. Yeah, that guy's. You and I had a conversation about Mike Zero like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I looked him up and they're like, people I would punch. He's on the top of the list.
Yeah, and I think there's others that are like, so even Star Wars Theory, who he generally is on the negative side for some stuff, but even this one, he's like, guys, this is too far.
Right. Look, see, I've had on this show my problems with Star Wars, and it comes down to, for me, and I've all been consistent on this.
Yep.
It's story.
Right.
Like Book of Boba Fett, I don't like the story. You may like the story. That's fine by you. I didn't care for the story. The sequel trilogy, I don't
Yeah.
care for the story. Love the characters. Love everybody
Right.
in it. Just
Yeah.
hate the situations they put them through. 'Cause
And,
it was
and
like-
I'm the same way.
I would love more Ray content if it's written right. If,
Right.
if, like
Yeah.
if Ray does some really interesting, cool stuff instead of just like
instead of just being a Mary Sue and
See, I fought against the Mary Sue thing too because
see, I just don't.
because I've explained this before too, but that's how the Force works. Obi Wan explains it in Episode 4.
Yeah.
It works through you. It obeys your commands, but also
Guides your actions.
guides your actions. That's the word
Yeah.
I'm looking for. So it does both.
So it's funny. You actually just gave me a flash. Like, yeah, when we as an age group complain about prequels, we now complain strictly about Jar Jar, strictly about some of the lines.
Yeah,
and
it's
the
no
acting.
longer the same.
But that's not what I remember disliking about the prequel trilogy. When
Right.
I first disliked it, like, I liked it. Like, just like every time we have an episode, I'm like, yay, new Star Wars.
right.
Right? I didn't hate it as much as a lot of people hated it.
Right.
I hated that it became so political.
Right.
Like, I have politics in real life.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't like politics in my fantasy.
I'm the same
The
way.
problem-
Right? Like,
Yeah.
I despise politics. I despise two-face talking, do what you got to do. Like, I hate it.
Mhm.
Why'd you put that in my sword laser sword gun?
The thing is,
right?
though, you
now,
realize-
granted, story-wise, it makes sense.
Well, also as you get a
but
little,
that's what pissed me off.
but I also think as you get a little bit older, you realize, well, it's always been there. Like Star Wars has always had politics, even from the beginning.
Well,
No.
Yeah,
No, it was a Western.
it was a Western with politics.
Yeah.
No. Not like that bullshit.
You're going to tell me that in A New Hope, the meeting that we see with Grand Moff Tarkin and all the other...
No.
That's not
That-
politics?
No, that was showing how much of a badass Vader was and how even these military generals or whatever were scared of the Emperor's lapdog.
But they're literally talking about politics.
Minus Tarkin, because Tarkin just could give no
right.
fucks.
So that's
Vader
it's-
release him.
See,
as
but
you
it was-
wish.
I always thought it was political, only because to me, especially the time it came out, in the 70s and 80s,
Yeah, it was-
during the Cold War, I always looked at the Empire as being this communist regime.
Yeah,
and,
Which-
and
fascist
so
guy.
it seems
It's actually
very political to me.
Which is
I'm not
actually...
saying there aren't political overtones because every movie has
Yeah.
a
Right.
literally mirror to what is happening at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what movies are. I'm saying, why did you fucking make me watch a movie where I had to spend half of it in the fucking Senate building?
Oh, yeah.
God damn
That
it.
was terrible.
Like, come the
I'm with
fuck
you.
on. Like, you want me to have a fucking Scotty rant? Because I'm about there. I'm not talking about the bullshit shit we get from every movie. I'm talking about, God damn it, why do I have Senator Jar Jar?
Right. No,
Fuck.
I'm with you on that.
I personally don't mind, but I also...
It was boring as fuck.
It was boring.
And you had me watch 3 ETs. I'm fucking over it.
That's right. He doesn't like ET.
There was
Well,
ETs in
yeah,
there.
well, his
Fuck.
race, yeah. I forget what they're called canonically.
Fucking dinner. I don't give a shit.
But, I mean, I don't mind, but
Well,
I do wish it was a little more interesting because I do like I do like Star Wars' political espionage when they go into it, but they don't really.
Yeah, but
do
this
that.
wasn't political
No,
espionage.
no, no. It
I
wasn't.
hated Jar Jar. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that.
like Jar Jar.
I never liked him. We were watching that this morning. The
my,
Phantom Menace.
My problems with Jar Jar have more to do with racial stuff and undertones that George unintentionally did. Same thing with the Nemoidians,
My
but
problem is he was stupid. I mean, here he is. He just meets these people for the first time, basically, and he says, "Oh, let me take you to our sacred place. You're strangers. I don't trust you. I don't know who you are, but let me take you to our sacred
well,
place."
that's because Jar Jar's the kid that likes to make friends with everybody.
He's
Right.
an idiot.
You didn't know that person?
Yeah, that's the.
You're
point
gonna tell
of-
me you don't know that person though in real life,
Right. Yeah. From the beginning, Jar Jar. We know Jar Jar's not bright, but we like him. He's funny.
But my problems with the aliens
Look at
and the
you. Are you
prequels.
trying not to say something?
You say something. It's-
Yeah, go
No,
ahead.
I've beaten that dead horse on
Okay.
the show.
But-
of
but
what
my
Jar Jar
problem-
really is.
No,
No.
no, that's
see-
there's a few forbidden topics. That's one about to be a good one.
But yeah, my problems with the
That
prequel,
one doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, my problems with prequel races are more with how George, like,
the Misas and the
the
overly Asian stereotype.
yeah, the overly Asian and then the overly Jewish stereotype with Watto. And
yeah, he kind of innocently. I don't think he's like a
No,
bad guy.
no.
I think he's just like
It's not malicious.
This sounds right.
it's not malicious,
I knew a
but
guy that looked just like this. Let's make him a character.
Well,
just
again,
happened
Star
to
Wars.
be-
Star Wars comes from outside of Kurosawa stuff, but it comes from Flash Gordon, and you look
Yeah.
at Ming the Merciless, who
Yeah.
is,
Right.
is a problematic Asian stereotype, and people are like, no, it's not. Go back and look at it. I get that. I get it. I'm with it. My problem with the prequels, on your point, is that Star Wars is a movie about for kids. It's a kids
Right.
movie, and George was like, you know what kids really need to know about? Taxation and politics.
yeah.
Bruh, that's my point.
And it was like.
And I'll admit, while I don't mind them now, when I first watched The Phantom Menace, which was my first Star Wars, I had a VHS copy. I would fast forward to the lightsaber bits and the battles and the pod race.
Right. That's what it should have been about. Lightsabers and rod racing.
Yeah.
Wizard.
I'm sorry. Was there something else in there? Because I don't remember it. I blocked it. It was all lightsabers. And
But of course, as I gotten older, I've come to appreciate what he was trying to.
Because now he pays taxes.
Even before then, I started to appreciate what he was trying to tell the story of. Whether that worked or not, that's a discussion that I think is.
It's funny.
Is there anything that Caleb dislikes?
No,
there's not.
no, and it's gonna be fun. And also, here's the fun fact. I think we're gonna do this for our Patreon. We're gonna start a Patreon in September for all the podcasts
Right.
for the whole network. And Justine and I did a show. We tried to do a show which kind of helped build Cult Movie Cantina.
Right.
Was Justina hadn't seen the Star Wars films and I hadn't really seen the Harry Potter films, and that's her Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did a back and forth, and we did a couple episodes of that. We did actually a few, and we're gonna redo it. So you're all invited for this ride of us, because you're not a Harry Potter guy either, right?
Yes.
Are
he
you?
is.
So are you?
Yeah. He's got the.
So so this will be fun because I'm not anti Harry Potter, but I don't get the love of it.
See, I'm both.
Yeah, me
so
too.
Right.
This is,
So
this would be
I
great.
get to be the odd man out on this.
Harry Potter became because when did the first book come out?
93.
So I've never read any of the books.
5?
94, I
Yeah.
think.
94.
Books are hard.
Right. So,
I love the books.
But like literally, when there was nothing until Phantom Menace in '99,
Right.
we got a few books of Harry Potter. It was a new fandom. Now, granted, I was also spending. I had started reading Wheel of Time.
97.
Mm-hmm.
It was
97.
97?
Yeah.
Okay, so then it's reversed. Like I got into the Wheel of Time series because
Yeah.
that was out early 90s. And then my aunt, who was a librarian, was like sent me the first, Sorcerer's Stone, Philosopher's Stone, whatever you want to
Yeah,
call it.
Right.
yeah.
And was like, "Hey, this is the new hotness. Like it's going crazy right now."
Was it ever
And I read
Philosopher's Stone here, or was it always so?
It was
It
always
was
Sorcerer's.
It was
I know it's
Sorcerer's-
British. It's Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah, it's always
Right.
been
Let me tell
sorcerers
you,
here
I-
because
I was all in.
somebody in publishing thought, oh, Americans won't know what a philosopher is.
That's so stupid.
This is the same country that the movie The Madness of King George is based on the play The Madness of King George III, and they dropped the third because they didn't think Americans would understand that this wasn't a sequel.
So the same country that had A&Ws have to get rid of the half-pound burger because everybody thought
That
it was
was-
smaller
yeah,
than the
smaller
third
than
pound
burger.
burger.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's why the
Three's
animated,
bigger than two. Why would you want?
Yeah.
It's why the animated Lord of the Rings was going to be part 1, but they dropped the part 1 because they thought people would think they were only selling half a movie.
Oh.
You have to remember, and I have to remind
Roll
myself
Tide.
of this almost every day. Like, because we all surround our friends, our social groups are usually at or near our intelligence level,
Right.
right? Because if somebody's too smart, we don't
You start to feel bad.
we start
Right,
feeling
right.
But if somebody's too dumb, we don't hang out.
Right.
So we get to hang around, and I'm not just saying us, but like,
Right.
But in our case, we have to remember that 50% of the country is below average IQ.
Right.
We just don't necessarily, I mean, whether we do or not, or whether we fall in that or not, we don't realize that there's half of the country is dumber than the average IQ of the country.
But none of our listeners.
And it,
I don't know. Kisa still lives in New York.
She's moving though.
Oh, okay, so then yes, including our listeners.
There you
I was
go.
just thinking we've never met, but she hates me now. It's fine. I'm from Syracuse. I can say things bad about New York.
I can't wait to get the text on Monday afternoon.
oh my goodness.
You go send me the screen cap.
I probably
It's
will.
going to be all like I'll be able to read the accent.
Oh Lord! Don't get me in trouble with Kisa.
But
Mwah.
going back to Obi-Wan, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Jar Jar's a Sith. Is that better?
Oh God, please don't put him on my side.
He's always been there. But if you want that discussion, you need to go back to like season 1, episode 8 of My Star Wars Life.
Oh yeah, pre Caleb.
Oh,
Yep.
Lord.
This was still a container yard.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh
Like,
wow.
Yeah. We had a whole episode about
Yeah, I
it.
had all episode.
It's like JD's like, let's fight today. Like that's what
it was. I'm still scarred from it. Like I said, there's not too many forbidden topics on here. This show. That's
That's
one
why
of.
I was biting my tongue.
Yeah,
Visibly
I almost
biting
let
my
that one
tongue
slip
today,
through. Caleb tried to get us back on track,
Yeah,
and
I know.
we
So-
broke away.
So,
Sorry.
You know how this train works.
so back to Obi-Wan, I guess. Is there any other thoughts regarding like stuff that's been going on that we want to?
I was so we have a thought I had, and maybe we'll see the effect in episode 4, chapter 4, whatever they're calling these.
They're calling
part
parts,
4.
Yeah.
These episodes would confuse people.
Right. So when at the end of episode 3 of the movies,
Right.
So
Okay. Yep.
yeah, that's why I was trying to make sure I'm clear.
Right.
When the Emperor hits himself with the lightning, he ages himself, he disfigures himself,
Yes.
right? Do you think the being raked over the coals literally
Oh, I think that's going to be.
going to affect Obi-Wan's appearance?
I don't think too much.
Why he ages so much in 9 years?
Well, then, if that's the case, they got to rake Owen and Baru over some coals
Yeah.
too.
Well, Owen's pretty stressed. He about died.
He's actually a hard-working farmer. He's out in the sun all day.
I'm just saying.
And
He's
out
9 years.
and he's out playing bocce or whatever.
Yeah.
There you go.
Whereas Obi-Wan's busy working at a
I'm
meat
not
slab
gonna accept that
factory.
joke. Not accepting that joke.
Or maybe we just have to accept that what we're watching now, they're not going to look as old as
No,
what we
it's-
remember.
I mean, we're
Those
still
twin sons, baby.
I mean, once again, we're 9 years away, and we did the math in a previous episode where this still adds up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess actually technically 8 years. Obi-Wan looks like Obi-Wan from New Hope when he has the fight in Twin Sons.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah. But that's what I'm looking forward to, whether it's in these last few episodes or I know Ewan has said he's open to doing a season 2, but there's no
I think-
confirmation.
Yeah,
there's
been a lot of like rumor
but
this
there's
whole
been
week.
nothing.
This whole week they've been rumoring it, and everybody's throwing it out, but nobody with actual credibility is doing
But
it.
of course, because it's Lucasfilm and they're not.
Right.
Because they like to save those for D23s and celebrations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
And,
they've been keeping mum.
But if the rumors are true, if it's the highest rated Disney Plus show yet,
Yeah.
then
I thought that was confirmed.
yeah. But if that's the case, Disney's like, how much money you need to come back and do another one? Like,
Yeah.
we
And
But-
they could do another one. I mean, I don't know if they would need. Then again, I've been on the while everybody else has been really excited about an Obi-Wan show. I was not. I was actually not on the excited end of it because I was very much on the. I'd rather see a young Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon
he's
show.
obsessed with like that. That's his thing.
Oh, you wanted to.
Well, because I grew up. So
because you was right. You grew up with the prequel era, so
and
you want
also
prequel era stuff, so yeah.
the first books I read were
Right.
the Jedi Apprentice
which
novels.
explains, and this is not a dodge at you,
No.
but this explains your love for the High Republic because that's the closest thing you're getting to it.
Yeah, at
Yeah,
the moment.
so
At the moment.
that makes a whole bunch of. You were going to say,
Yeah.
Yes. So, see if I can remember what I was going to say. If there's not a season 2,
Yes.
then these last few episodes need us to have Obi-Wan get back to the point where he is in Twin Sons and the beginning of A New Hope as far as adept with his lightsaber.
right?
Yeah.
Right? Because Maul also was living for 10, now 18 years on anger and spite, and Obi-Wan dismantles him with 2 moves. Like,
Right.
so...
Yeah, I think we're gonna. I think the arc that we're getting for Obi-Wan is very much the getting back in tune with the Force and getting back in tune with. Because right now he's dealing with a lot where he's.
All he's got to do is access it. I mean, it's just like on pause.
Yeah.
because he's disconnected from it because he doesn't want anyone to find him. So once he gets the courage, it's going to be like Kanan and the Grand Inquisitor.
Mhm.
And when Grand Inquisitor quote unquote kills Ezra in front of Kanan's eyes. And is like, well, your Padawan's dead. He's like, good, because I have nothing left to fear, and just whoops his ass. So once Obi-Wan gets that, I have nothing left to fear, he's gonna beat the shit out of Vader. That's right. That's how that has to end.
It
right?
has
Yeah.
to because Vader's line is, when we left, I was but the learner.
Yeah, it's
Not
got
this last time. He was schooling Obi-Wan.
Yes, he was.
It's gotta. I think it's gotta leave with Obi-Wan winning that fight.
Oh, it has to. Obi-Wan has to win.
You get some different prostheses because we're going to cut these off too.
That's
Yeah.
right.
you can do the same
I'm
move.
still calling the fight will bring him back to Mustafar.
Oh, you think he'll go
I think the big WWE match is going to be on Mustafar.
Ooh.
No, but I think Obi-Wan has the high ground again.
Yeah.
I think this time though it'll be inside the Vader's fortress.
Oh hell yeah! That's what we all want, right? We want the fight in the fortress, right?
Because Vader's fortress is there. It wasn't there last time, so let's.
But
So now Obi-Wan, you dramatic bitch.
but there's precedence, and let me tell you, there's precedence. Does anyone remember the original plans for Return of the Jedi, the throne room on? For
Oh
the
yeah,
Emperor?
it's almost looks exactly like.
Like Mustafar's idea comes from that.
Yeah.
It's a lava planet where he's got the throne room. The fight was supposed to happen on this lava planet.
Right.
Like so, I mean, we saw the throne room and it's all set up.
Yeah.
So I got excited when I saw that in the beginning of this episode. I was like, oh, they finally used those old McCoy drawings, and then so I'm all in. Yeah, that has to happen, right? And is the last scene in the entire show
No.
Qui-Gon?
I think we're going to get Qui-Gon before then.
You think we get Qui-Gon before that?
I think Qui-Gon's going to be the one that kicks Obi-Wan's butt into gear.
So you think we're gonna get Liam Neeson?
Absolutely.
Okay.
They've done 2 call-outs to him. There's no way they're not showing him. It's Schrodinger's Jedi.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
and plus, Liam is already active in the Star Wars community again because he's appearing in the Tales of the Jedi show with his voice.
Awesome.
I have a question.
Sure.
It's a statement question. They need to somehow explain how Obi-Wan's going to remain hidden on Tatooine.
And still be in touch with the Force.
Well,
No. Because she had the girl kidnapped
Yes.
to draw Obi-Wan out.
Right.
If a year 2022 detective, police detective, could figure out. Okay. Flight log. Bail Organa left here and went to Tatooine. This random stranger gets on a thing and lands. Like you can follow flight logs to figure out where Obi-Wan came from.
Bail does not leave flight logs. There's no way he does.
No.
Because he's a fulcrum. He forms the fulcrum. There's no way no one knows he went to Tatooine.
And so there's no Imperium spies. I mean, somebody's got to know he's been to Tatooine.
No.
And also I think Reva's the only person who knows Obi-Wan came from Tatooine out of the Inquisitors because the rest don't know. They just know that she claims that she's drawn him out to Dayu.
But they didn't draw. But they don't know even draw out where. She tried to draw him out. They don't know where he's at.
Yeah.
They first see him on Dayu.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they don't know.
They don't even know he's on Tatooine.
Yeah.
I would almost agree with you.
And I think Reva's gonna die.
But I would. What does that have? Hold on, wait.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing. Has nothing to do with
It does though. It does though. It answers why. Because who's the only person that knows Obi-Wan's on Tatooine right now?
I don't think she knows. There's no way. She's never mentioned that he's been on Tatooine.
They just got really close. That's what I'm wondering about.
Because they found the other Jedi. That's the only Jedi they were looking for. What's his face?
Right.
So they found him. So they're not looking. They weren't looking for Obi-Wan.
I feel like she was sensing that he was there though, which was why she was doing the plan now.
I think I don't know. I don't think she knows he's on Tatooine. Right now, my bet says she doesn't know he's on Tatooine.
Okay.
However,
that's why I brought her
back
up.
to the Bail thing, which
Yeah.
I've been trying to say for the last 5 minutes, Caleb. I would agree with you almost if he didn't start Fulcrum, and he's like the head of the CIA for the rebellion, and so if anyone knows how to cover their tracks, it's got to be Bail Organa. Honestly, right? He's the one who gets
But
Cassian and Ahsoka to do their things.
has he started that yet?
This is where this is all. He starts forming that stuff as soon as the episode 3 ends. He starts laying the groundwork for all of that.
Let me pull up when Ahsoka starts, because the Ahsoka novel is, because that's when.
The Ahsoka novel happens immediately after Siege of Mandalore, because it's the alternate timeline of the Siege of Mandalore.
And then it continues from there.
Yeah,
I thought there was a jump.
No, I don't think there's not. I don't think it's much of a jump. She stays on a planet for a little while and lays low, and then at the end of the book, she
gets a call to action.
Yeah, because that's when she gets the new lightsabers and the white sabers. And
it's only a few months.
No,
it's a year.
So a year.
It's a year because it's 18 BBYs.
Right. So it's now 8 years from that. So there's clearly, if he's the head of the rebellion CIA, basically. He has to know how to cover his tracks.
Okay. Yeah.
So that otherwise, I'm with you.
I'm just worried.
I'm
worried
with you.
about A, plot hole.
Right.
B, oh no, Vader's like, I knew he was there, but sand, I ain't going there.
Yeah.
Right? Like that would just be the lamest reason to keep him. I
mean, Vader hates sand. He's not afraid of it.
But no,
gets in my gears.
Think about it now. Why would he go to Tatooine, right? If sand gets everywhere, like imagine it being in a suit with him.
Well,
dude, he would lightning the entire planet.
Well,
He'd just be like, no. And I just thought, like, how does he fly over his home planet at the beginning of A New Hope and just be like, whatever?
Well, because he's been on it afterwards.
Yeah, he's been on it a couple of times.
You don't drive past, where you used to live and go, I used to live there. Every time.
Vader probably said it to Chief Bast, because Chief Bast him and Chief Bast seem pretty tight.
Yeah.
He's like a dude he didn't kill. So I'm like, but he's like, right?
Yeah.
Right. That's the only guy. He has a whole conversation with him, and that dude survives. I guess that's the closest thing that Vader has a best friend on the ship.
I can't remember if he's been on it after Episode 3, but before 4. But I know he's been on it after 4.
Yeah,
because
he threatens Jabba.
Well, and also he hires Boba Fett and Black Chrysanthemum to figure out about Luke.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Also, my mom died there. I'm not really fond of it.
Like he still has flashbacks and stuff where he's like, bad memories, but he.
So Anakin's dumb. So Vader's just dumb.
It's a drama queen.
No, that's
I don't
irrelevant
think
to whether
Vader's
he's smart or
dumb.
dumb.
I think he's just blinded by all of his emotions.
Right, but he
baggage.
is also strong with the Force, right?
Right.
So all these points in his life lead back to Tatooine. Every time something important happens, it happens near or on Tatooine. He just got the plans stolen from can't remember the name of the planet. And a Rogue One.
Scarif.
Scarif.
Yes.
Yeah.
Took me a
Plans
second.
just get stolen from Scarif. He shows up, has his hallway scene, but the plans escape. Oh no. Hey, there's a Corellian Corvette. Chase it. Cool. They come out of hyperspace. We're gaining on them. Outside Tatooine. Bro, that should have just been a red flag. And then, oh yeah, no, an escape pod was jettisoned. No big deal. I'm going myself. Right? I'm going myself. There's too much. There's too much coincidence at this point.
I don't know.
Now, granted, in 1977 when it was written,
We
none
didn't
of
know
this-
what doing.
right,
So
just
you try to
saying,
back.
but-
That's the trouble about back. That's part of the trouble back
Right.
retro retconning in this and putting the.
Yeah, because I was gonna say when you were talking about the plot holes, Star Wars has always been about plot holes.
Yeah, they've got their share.
That's where the Force lives.
The
There you go.
the two I've been trying to fight on Twitter for a while. I kind of gave up because I've been, but so I'll say it on the podcast. I think we said last week, but just to reiterate, Leia knows who Obi Wan is.
Yep.
She clearly knows who he is.
Yeah.
In A New Hope, she knows him. In fact, if you go back and watch the hologram,
Yeah.
help me, Obi Wan Kenobi. You're
Yeah.
our only hope.
Yeah.
Like you, buddy. We've been through some
Right.
shit.
I actually thought of that briefly. And
Right.
went, nope, I'm good.
Right, and
Yep.
then I went back and rewatched the rescue scene when Luke rescues Leia, and he says, "I've got your droids. I'm with Ben Kenobi," and she goes, "You're with Ben Kenobi."
Ben Kenobi. Yeah.
All good.
Yeah.
And then I get
He's saving me again from
right.
a locked room.
and
This
then
is
I
great.
get then I hear, well, why wasn't she upset when he died? And I was like, she wasn't really upset when her planet blew up,
Right.
Because death is not handled the same way it happens here in Star Wars.
Well, also,
It's a
George didn't know how to write female characters,
Right, but
because
if-
Luke is sad, and we see Luke sad,
Right.
But we don't get to see Leia's emotions.
And Luke's sad for like a minute.
Yeah.
And then there's like they gotta shoot stuff, and then he's okay for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And so
The Force is just helping.
George
him
isn't good with emotions.
right, but I also think it's kind of the Roddenberry thought, and I hate to bring Star Trek into Star
Yeah.
Wars, but it's the kind of the Roddenberry thought about death. Roddenberry said by the time we got to the 23rd century, death is just a thing. We don't get upset. We miss people,
Right.
but we don't like it's just happens.
Right.
And so yeah, it sucks that your whole planet died, but and the comics dive in a little bit more. The Leia comic really dives into more her emotional.
Yeah,
because
because we get to see that. We get to see.
you get to see her breakdown because it's been 30 years and that's how movies and stories are
Yeah.
now told.
And also
but
now
back
sh-
then it was
yeah.
like, oh, I'll look down because my planet blew up. But and then a whole planet died. Everyone I knew is dead. One more old guy.
And,
All right,
and honestly,
so that's shitty.
And
but-
honestly, the Leia comic gives a good explanation for why she doesn't appear sad in the films and stuff. It's because she's a leader and she's got to hide those feelings.
Right, she's got shit to do. She will process this later. Ben, she named her child after him. So I think we're good.
Right. Absolutely.
And I'm glad that finally that connection's kind of made stronger.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it makes Kylo make a little bit more sense.
And honestly, Leia and Obi-Wan should have been more connected than Luke and Obi-Wan to a degree anyways for a while, I think, because we don't get enough Leia, honestly.
Again, Lucas doesn't write women well.
Yeah.
At least there was a girl in the thing, and she was awesome.
And they didn't wear underwear in space.
Apparently.
Lots of
Which
tape.
makes that stormtrooper armor nasty.
Uh,
The lady stormtrooper. Oh,
No, just if there's no underwear in space, don't care what gender you are under that stormtrooper
yeah.
armor.
Stormtrooper's
it's
got
not
that,
even
that
about
unitard
nasty. It's
though.
got to be
underneath
like
it.
uncomfortable
But-
as hell.
Right.
Yeah,
With all
that's
your
gotta
junk
that's gotta
jiggling in
chafe.
that
Thank you.
PVC
That's
or
got
plastic, whatever.
that chafes.
So we didn't get to talk about this, and we've been running long. So,
Yeah.
but I do want to talk about it because it's been a meme, I don't. It's a good episode, and I don't want to criticize a good episode, but here it is. The laser grid that blocks the truck is the dumbest thing in the show.
Right?
Like it is. Like at first, I thought, oh, he's going to take the truck and drive the truck off, and because you can walk around the laser grid.
Right.
Yeah.
You can just leave it up. But he does it. He shoots the thing, very Luke Skywalker. It's a callback. And then just walks through it. I'm like, walk around.
Yeah. Oh, the dude on the TikTok dude, they made it.
Oh, yeah. I love him.
So my only note was that.
Mine was not a funny note, but like when you mentioned callback, I did want to mention it today. I like the callback when Leia asks Ben about his mother and his family, and he's like, "Flash is really." That's literally almost the exact same thing Leia tells to Luke in return.
Right.
Which is, she's got to be talking about Padme at that point because she's had 10 years with Brea, and we don't know when Brea is. I mean, I don't think Brea makes it out of this, to be honest. But we'll see.
I think she lives up. I think she dies with Bill during the.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
We'll see.
We'll see. But it sucks if she dies at the end of this. That would.
It would be weird.
But that would also.
But that would mean Bell wouldn't be in charge of Alderaan anymore.
So something's got to kick
Because
her
of
in
the
the
way-
pants to be a senator anyway. That might could do it.
Yeah.
And
Because
and
yeah. Go
if
ahead.
she's talking about Brea as Flash, is like at 10, yes, there are memories, but they still, when it's just hard. It's hard to equate what she's talking about because why would you have memory? You would not have memories and flashes of a newborn.
No.
Someone's going to address that.
Oh,
They have
actually,
to.
I know Brea lives past this because the Leia Princess of Alderaan book, which is before Rebels season one, like not long before Rebels season 1, before her appearance there.
Yeah, she's in.
Brea is still
yeah.
alive.
Okay.
2. She's in 2, right? Season 2.
She appears in season 1 as well, I think. No, you're right. 2.
It's 2. She's
Yeah.
only once and it's 2.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, before the mall stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, it's before her season. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that
season
makes
2.
sense.
And so
But I think someone's going to address and figure out the Padme
yeah.
seeing it. Maybe it's a force vision
I mean, she
or
could
something.
be. Yeah, I mean, she could be seeing her in her sleep for all we know because
Something,
visions tend to
it's
come during the sleep.
Right.
and
It's to me, it's an important line in Jedi.
Oh. Or maybe Obi-Wan can. I don't know if he can do a little. Here's what I remember of your mama, and just see how.
Oh hell yeah!
I mean,
that be, because then him saying Flash is really.
Yeah.
Then her reiterating that in Jedi would actually be very kind of poetic.
Right.
well, yeah, and also like she
I'm in
at the
for
beginning
that.
at the beginning of this episode, in a way, he's kind of opening her up to the Force, whether he's meaning to or not, because he's been trying to convince Owen to let him train Luke, but Owen won't let him. But now there's another person asking. There's another person asking Obi-Wan, "Hey, how does the Force work? Is it like this?" And it's him telling Leia, "No, it's like this." And
It's like if you've ever been in a dark room and you turn on the light, that's what it is. I'm like, that's a great metaphor.
and so like it's Leia is learning the
For
Force.
Steph, it's like the opposite. Light, turn on the dark.
Yeah.
Ah, this dark side. There we go.
That's nice.
There he goes.
But yeah, Leia's learning the Force whether she realizes it or not by being around Obi-Wan and Obi-Wan unintentionally teaching her.
Worked for me.
Let's just face it. I like the costuming better for all the dark-sided characters. That's where it really falls down. They look better.
I got you.
I'm serious.
I mean, let's just look at that nice V-neck of our boy right there.
I know. Isn't he handsome?
He doesn't have any hair though, so it's kind of wasted.
Yeah, that's the sideshow Darth Maul.
Well, it's my husband doesn't have any hair, so that's fine too.
He could cosplay a short Darth Maul.
He
Well,
really
actually,
Hold on. Ray Park's short.
that's right. He is short.
He is. He's really short.
Ray
He's
Park's
probably
Ray
he
Park's
probably
like
is
5'3",
Jamie's height.
5'4".
There probably is, because the picture of me right next to
Hey,
Ray
Caleb.
Park
On it.
I think he's got to be what,
How tall is Jamie?
5'7".
5'7".
I think he's
Jamie-
way taller.
Ray Park's taller, 5'9".
All right.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I got to go look at that picture of me and him side by side, because
Yeah.
he didn't seem that much taller.
Ray Park's
Yeah, but
'Cause
2
I'm like-
inches ain't nothing in cosplay, so
Right.
That's
there you
true.
go.
Meanwhile,
There you go. So you
meanwhile-
have your cake and eat it too.
So now that's what you got to do. You've got to talk
Yeah.
Jamie into cosplaying Maul.
Meanwhile,
I mean-
meanwhile,
'Cause you can do the
animated.
makeup on him.
Yeah.
Easily.
Right?
Makeup.
Yeah. Although animated
You have,
Maul
a,
is
you have a new
taller.
task
Yeah.
for like Pensacon. You got a whole year.
Hey, Jamie. How do you feel about that much makeup?
I'm just
He'd
saying.
do it for you.
I'm just
He
saying.
loves
You know, look, my wife has her Obi Wan thing.
I've
Maul thing.
always had a Darth Maul
That's the-
thing.
Like I learned to talk like you haven't been here. I've learned to talk like Obi-Wan before we started dating, so that we could be dating.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, back up. Yeah.
Although
Let me hear you.
yeah.
for Hera,
Let me
so-
hear you say talk like Obi-Wan.
Who's not a Jedi or a Sith.
Which one?
I said I have a thing for Hera, but
Right.
she's not a Jedi or a Sith.
All right. See, now I'm gonna mess it up because she asked.
No.
You were right about one thing. The negotiations were short.
Look at that.
Oh, see, that's pretty darn
It
impressive.
Really
also,
good.
it also
Yeah,
helped
pretty
the
good.
train spot had come out and have to talk about the spirit crushing, mind numbing
Yeah.
angels. It's really more of a Ewan McGregor thing than it is an Obi-Wan thing. But whatever worked. I'm married for 20 years.
I think that's a great note to end on. This is Sky saying this is our contribution to the multiverse. Go out and make yours, and may the force be with you.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Bye.
I've spoken.
This is the way.
Lord have mercy.